My name is Steve Kron, and I'm a University of Chicago professor. I work in one of our departments called the Department of Molecular Genetics and Cell Biology. I got to know the people involved in the foundation, Bruce Bloom, the Goldmans, and certain of the staff, and it was clear that it was a very enthusiastic and forward-thinking group, and that they really liked the idea that we had that if you could take radiation therapy and by using a totally benign drug that would only target cells that had already suffered DNA damage, make those cells die, but would not affect the other cells in the body, maybe that we could get some advantage. One of the things that we are trying to get at here is things that could be used on people very directly, drugs that are already well tolerated, things that people take anyway, not very toxic, mixing them with something that is toxic, but which we want to limit the dose of, in this case radiation, and getting a bigger bang, a larger effect. So this is the kind of thing when I think of repurposing or high impact translational research, this is that middle ground where I really think PFC is doing a wonderful thing, which is they're using a combination of good thinking about science and good thinking about impact to help launch projects. What they did was they created a project that I've stuck with and my colleagues have stuck with that's now funded by the National Cancer Institutes that just led to a major publication in a journal called Cancer Research, which just came out. I'll bet you many of my colleagues are reading it and thinking about the implications of that paper. We're going to continue publishing. We're going to continue doing research. And out of the small amount of money that was started is going to grow a very large effect, we think. And this doesn't have to happen every time. But even if this happens occasionally, then PFC is really doing something important. What's exciting about PFC, and we've recruited other scientists with other expertise to help us, is that what we're asking is not necessarily as a specialist in a field, what is the best science, what is the most exciting science, who are the very best scientists in that field. We're asking, is this a reasonable project that might get done now or soon and could have a really big impact on today's patients? And all of the members of the Scientific Advisory Board share this idea that we can put a different hat on when we're dealing with PFC, where we're looking at the best science that might have the biggest impact. Now, this may transition very soon into a much bigger thing, which is to ask, can we attack many, many different types of disease, many different types of patients, with many different types of projects, and ask simply this question, who is offering to have the biggest impact at the scale that we can fund, which is who is going to be able to, with things that they have on hand or things that are easily at hand, to work with drugs that have already been used in people and approved by the FDA ideally, or devices that are FDA approved, or tests that are FDA approved, and be able to thereby match patients to better treatments. And so this is an exciting and high risk, but very high reward opportunity. One of the biggest payoffs though, and I really think this is important, is that an initial investment in a project can often generate compelling, what we call preliminary or proof of principle data. What this does is it provides that impetus for the researcher to go forward because they now know that there's going to be something to get out of this, but it also provides the key information that one gives to other funders, larger funders, the federal government through NIH or National Science Foundation or the DoD, which funds immense amounts of medical research, that tells our colleagues who are helping review for them that this is probably going to work at some level and might really work very well. So often the kinds of investments that a foundation like PFC can make are absolutely catalytic. They lead to incredibly large leverage. That is, that they're amplified or multiplied by larger investments that come in after from people who don't quite have the bravery to invest early, but have the now confidence to put in larger sums. So one of the things that's exciting about being a PFC researcher, but also a PFC reviewer, is this idea that you're actually affecting things that will happen in the future. That this initial investment, this responsibility one has to get some of this work done, to get the preliminary data, to reach some milestones, is going to show up as not only a, an A+ grade or whatever on your report card, but actually what it's going to do is lead to a new set of documents, a new set of proposals that go to a new set of funders who are then able to bring in, to reach into deeper pockets and who might be committed to a particular question and really want to follow up.